said D1. We already there, huh?
Trying to look like him, sweet.
Is that why you brought this? Come on, man. Don't make fun of the guy, man.
I try to look like him, but
Don't do that.
All he said was,
good,
you could do, Jim, what did you think? You saw the
We have what he said.
D2.
What did he say?
Jay, look.
You look like you got drafted for D4 basketball, right?
These dudes. But what about what he said, though? Is there any credence to is there any credence to what he said about
I don't care about what he said.
Okay.
That boy don't know me. I know his trick. You know, you're using my name for fame, it's all good, but you don't know me. You don't know nothing about my life.
Wait, using your name for fame? Well, all due respect, Jim. When's the last time you had a hit? In 2004. That was over 2 decades ago. Bruh, ain't nobody using your name for clout. You ain't Drake, but I'm saying this all in love. Joseph Guillermo Jones II, aka Jim Jones. Who? Jim Jones. Wait. Not Mike Jones, Jim Jones, my bad. As we all know that Christian rapper Dee-1 was on Sway in the Morning about a couple of weeks ago, and he was calling out rappers.
It's the OGs who I like to call DGs because they're disappointing grown-ups. That's what they are. It's the ones that's 40-something years old. I hate when I see these gray-haired clout chasers who still talking about, and I send my young boys to come and wet your whole block up, and they still glorifying this. I look at with a Jim Jones, you could do better, brother. I love you too much. I love you too much to not be honest with you. Rick Ross, you could do better, brother. Meek Mill, you could do better, brother.
We should expect more, especially from our old heads, the people who, you know, in their 50s. Hence, Jim Jones, you know, your lyrics should be better. It should be feeding the community. It should be nurturing them. It should be nourishing them instead of killing them. Y'all should do better. Y'all can do better. I'm saying this in love. Like, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but that is what Dee-1 was saying. Like, look, I'm coming at you guys in love and with love, that you guys can be better. Are you going to step up to the challenge? And obviously, none of these bros are going to step up to the challenge. They instead got their ego hurt. If Jim wasn't truly bothered by what Dee-1 said, he would like, oh man, who you wouldn't be all emotional and agitated and fidgeting in your seat. I could tell that you were butthurt. Bruh, anybody can tell and see that you were obviously hurt by what he said. Your ego was hurt. Your ego was hurt, Jimmy.
Like, I really give back to the people. I don't care about none of the rhetoric he talking about. I grew up in the church. You're not going to do none of that to me. But I really do a lot for the people.
Mm-hmm. He talked about lyrics.
I don't care about none of that.
Just by your body language, bro. You're agitated. You're hurt. You're offended. I mean, I grew up around dudes like this. Like, you can tell you're hurt. There's trauma there. It just goes deep. And I know that you are bothered by what Dee-1 said. It hit a spot, a soft spot. You were convicted by his words. Those spirits in you, the spirit of whatever you might have endured in your childhood, like rejection, abandonment, some type of hurt or trauma, whatever it is, those spirits are being agitated right now. They don't like it. Satan doesn't like to be called out like this. And your ego has been hurt, has been dented because of the truth. That's truth what Dee-1 spoke. He said that y'all can do better because you can do better. And there's no reason to get all bothered by that. If you truly love your community and you really care about your community over the money, then you would do an introspection. The Bible says, Luke 8:11 says, the seed is the word of God. In Hebrew thought, there's a positive and negative. So that is the positive of a side or function of a seed, of it being the teaching of Jesus. So the negative is that there's a teaching, the seed, it could be a teaching of Satan. It's either Jesus or Satan. That's it. There's no in between. So if we look at your lyrics, if we break down your lyrics, what side is it on? Is it a seed of, or is it a doctrine or a teaching of Jesus? Are you feeding your community? Are you teaching them about Jesus Christ, the truth, his character, his love? Or are you teaching them from the doctrine of demons? Are you teaching them about Satan, about killing, murdering, sex, outside of marriage, drugs, partying, balling, boasting, all of these things? Like, you're teaching your community how to respond to criticism in this interview. interview. Every word that you speak, Joseph, is a teaching. So even in this interview, you just not only your body language, your countenance, all of that, but your words, your speech. You get to know someone through their speech. You won't know someone if they're silent, but once they start speaking, they'll start showing you who they are. So we can know who you are through your lyrics. You say later on in the interview that it comes from your heart. That was a really soft and vulnerable moment, and I appreciate that, Joe, that you said, like, I write from my heart. And it reminds me of one of my favorite movies is Straight Outta Compton, because I'm West Coast all day. You know, I'm just West Coast all day, so anything West Coast I love. One of the scenes that really stood prominent to me was when Eazy-E's character, or either Eazy-E or Ice Cube, they were talking about their lyrics, and they said, well, if you want us to change our lyrics, then we need to change our environment. We just rap about what we see.
Yeah, but your songs, they glamorize the lifestyle of gangs, guns, drugs.
Our art is a reflection of our reality. What you see when you go outside your door? I know what I see.
And it ain't glamorous.
In a real life, I do a lot for the people. Now let's line up to the statistics. You talking or you doing?
He's doing a lot. Dee-1 is doing a lot.
Talk a good one. What have you done?
And you're doing a lot too, Joe.
Yeah? You know what I mean? People I watch get killed that I grew up as my friends and things like that. I don't get scared straight. I stand up stronger and fight for my people and do for my people every single day. Miss me with the rhetoric about what I do in my music. I get money off my music. Don't tell me how to make my dollars. But what I do for the people, from my heart, can't nobody tell me about.
I see that you love your community, Jim. There's no doubt about it that you love your people. You probably paying mortgages on Keisha's house. You probably even bought her that house. You're probably paying bond for a homie that just got locked up. You probably paying for this girl's college tuition so she won't go on the pole stripping for it. You probably doing so much for your community because you love them, just like Moses loved his people. He loved them. But what you're doing, and what I don't believe that you realize that you're doing, is that you are killing them spiritually. You may be doing all of these things in the natural, all of these things that are good, but spiritually is what matters. So you are killing them spiritually through your lyrics. It is no good that you are paying off their college tuition, paying their mortgages, buying them houses and cars. None of that matters if their thinking is being poisoned and they're going to continue in this cycle of insanity. They keep making the wrong decisions because the root and cause of the issue is their thinking. It's a spiritual battle, Jim, and you are contributing to it. Your lyrics are poisoning them. It's keeping them in that cycle of thinking that this is how I solve my problems. It's the devil's way of solving problems. It's the devil's commandments. It's the devil's character. It's the devil's function that you are emanating, that you are spewing, that you are teaching in your songs. And we all know that what the result is from Satan, it produces death, spiritual death. So these people's mind are being poisoned. They're being murdered and killed by your lyrics, and also your counterparts, like your peers, like Rick Ross, Meek Mill, and other people. Just pretty much the whole entire music business. It's not just all on you, Jim. But you have to take yourself accountable for your teachings, your seeds that you are pouring out to your community. You think that you're doing a good thing, but you're not. Spiritually, one of the commandments, the top 10 commandments, there's 613. One of them in the top 10, it says, do not kill. But you're killing them spiritually through your teachings. You remind me in particular of Paul when he was Saul. He was killing Christians. He was a Pharisee, and he thought he was doing the right thing by killing people who went against the Mosaic law. He thought he was doing the work of God, but he wasn't. And so God encountered him on the road to Damascus and said, why are you persecuting me? Right now you are Saul, Jim. You think you're doing right because you love your people so much. You love your community, but you are not, because you are killing them with your teaching. So when you get on these songs and you think that you are providing your community, you love them so much, I'm gonna give them a good party record. That is not of Jesus. It's of Satan. You may have the intent to want to do good, but it's actually doing the work of Satan, because you're doing a party record, you're boasting, you're talking about balling. But I was just briefly going through your lyrics on one of your songs. I think it was Certified Gangsta, and I'm like, bro, this is the work of Satan. I understand what Ice Cube's character, what Ice Cube said in that movie, and I'm sure that's what he believes, and I even believe that growing up. Like, if you want us to change our lyrical content, then change our environment. But that don't even help. Changing the milieu, the environment, doesn't solve the issue. It doesn't cut it at the root or attack it at the root. It's the mind. Because you can still, like, even in that movie, Eazy-E, like, he had the big house and the mansion, but still he was undergoing all the demons that he was undergoing. The problem still followed him because it's the thinking that needs to change. How you solve conflict. It's all in the Torah. It's all in the Bible. God teaches us through the commandments how to respond in situations, how to act, how to be like him. So that is what you want to teach your people, instead of teaching them, how to party, how to mix the liquor so you can get this type of high or this type of crunk or whatever. What Dee-1 was saying, Jim, is that it's your lyrical content that is spiritually killing and harming your community. And bro, I think you're 47? Bruh, come on now. But we shouldn't be behaving this way at this age. So, I don't know, like, Jim, just start making rap songs about Jesus. If you truly love your community, you want to help them, help yourself first. Undergo transformation. Allow the word, the truth, to transform you first. Then you can go and transform them. And you can put that transformation in lyrics. You can teach them how to handle situations. Bro just got in my face, try to spray me with some mace. I said, no thanks. I'm on God's taste. Okay? Have your people call my people, okay? I'm a lyricist, as you can tell. As you transform, your lyrics will transform. As you're washed, you will wash your community. You will clean them up. You say that you've been in church. Well, then go to God and be like, well, what do you say, God? Am I killing my community? Is there truth to what Dee-1 said? I know I was upset by it, but obviously I was bothered by it. What do you think, Father? And He gonna tell you. He gonna tell you, as long as you seek him with a humble heart. I pray, Jim, that you take heed to what Dee-1 is saying. I hope this message finds you in love, Jimmy. Little Joseph Guillermo Jones II.